बोलिए किसका कविता प्रभु जी बोलिए किसका कविता इधर देख लीजिए
When you're stepping up, if you're streaming,
ओके
on this side is good, that angle, yeah? On this side.
ओके थैंक यू आप बोलिए कुछ बोलिए हो गया वही है प्रभु वन कैन आई कीप इट
You can keep, yeah, I don't want you walking from in front to front. I don't want blocking either.
ओके
But I want you to stream.
ओके यू ओके
Anywhere here is good if it's a good angle for you, is it?
ओके
Is it a good angle or what about all the way on that
Yeah,
side? But
I-
you have to walk on this side if you're
can I do just back side of this table
No,
oh, okay
you can do on the side.
okay
You can do right here, but
I'd like to ask all the devotees to please find a seat for this evening's program. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. New Vrindavan Transcendental Education for the Children ki. I'd like to welcome everyone. It's too high for me. Give me a chair. A chair. We'd like to welcome everyone for tonight's special appreciation of Mother Ruchi. Mother Ruchi ki! By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he started this Hare Krishna movement. And Srila Prabhupada was such a transcendental, loving, special personality, empowered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna Shakti, Inanahai Parvartanai, to spread Krishna consciousness. And Srila Prabhupada attracted such an amazing variety of people to become devotees. He attracted the beatniks, the hippies, the dropouts, the drug addicts, the drunkards, crazy people. But he also attracted very nice people. Like Mother Ruchi is like a very nice person, you know, just like a normal person that's really like amazingly nice. And one of the things that really we can say about Srila Prabhupada, actually was said by one of Srila Prabhupada's first, wasn't disciples, but he was an admirer of Srila Prabhupada, very special personality, Allen Ginsberg. He was an intellectual, he was a poet, and he spent many hours with Srila Prabhupada. And one of the things that he commented upon after being with Prabhupada, and he was interviewed by a reporter to ask him, well, what was Srila Prabhupada like? And he said that Srila Prabhupada, or the Swami as he would say, Swami had a very unique sweetness about him that was from a mixture of total dedication and complete concentration on a higher topic. So that struck me. The impression that he had of Srila Prabhupada was one of total sweetness. And I thought, that just reminded me of Mother Rushi, because she is like total sweetness that's coming from a complete life of dedication. As you're seeing here on these, some of these slides here, she's been doing this for decades and giving her heart to the children. There's so many wonderful appreciations that we're going to hear tonight. But I thought we would start with somebody who knows Mother Bucci better than anyone here. So it is my great pleasure to call upon Sankirtan Prabhu. And he doesn't need an introduction, although he is the husband of Mother Ruchi.
I'll start from the beginning. Ruchi and I met in college, and at that time I was living in the East Village, very far from 26 Second Avenue, and I was majoring in film and drama, and Ruchi was majoring in sociology. Actually, she met me before we physically met. She met me through my poetry. Myself and a couple of other students, we started a poetry magazine at the college. And Ruchi, she particularly liked my poetry. And she was wondering, who is this person? And finally, somebody pointed her out. And in one sense, we became instant friends. And one of the first things that we did together was to read to one another. She read to me from what was the name of that book? The Little Prince. A very famous book, The Little Prince. I had never heard of it before. And I read to her from some of my favorite authors. And so this was the beginning of our relationship. And majoring in drama and film, I decided to do a film on the devotees. And so we went there. By then, they moved to just up the street, 61 Second Avenue. First they were at 26, the devotees started at 26 Second Avenue, and so many people started joining, they needed a bigger facility. So they went to 61 Second Avenue, and I was going there to do a film on the devotees, and Ruchi decided to join me, that she would do a report for her sociology class on what types of people join the Hare Krishnas. And so we interviewed some of the devotees there at the time. One person I remember interviewing was Jayadvaita. Today he's Jayadvaita Swami. And the devotees, they didn't have much facility at the time. After we graduated, then we moved up to Nova Scotia. And there, we stayed in Nova Scotia for about a year. And then we decided, somebody invited me to come to Madison, Wisconsin to join the Broome Street Theater. So we were hitchhiking across Canada. And we stopped at the Montreal Temple. Then we stopped at the Toronto Temple, and the devotees in the Toronto Temple they told us, oh, you're in luck. In just a few days, Prabhupada is going to be in Detroit. And we thought, wow, we had been reading the Bhagavad Gita. And so we got the Bhagavad Gita a year back before we left New York City from the devotees at 61 2nd Avenue. And so at that time, we stayed with the devotees in Toronto for a few days because they promised us that we could get in one of their cars to go to Detroit to see Prabhupada. So after a few days were up, then on Friday night, one car was leaving, and they told us to pack up, we would get into the car. But when we got down behind the temple to the car, it was full, and there was no room for us. And so they said, don't worry about a thing. Tomorrow there's another car leaving early in the morning, and just get a ride with that car. And so the next morning we were again we had knapsacks that we traveled around with, and we hitchhiked a lot. We hitchhiked from New York City to Nova Scotia, and now from Nova Scotia we were hitchhiking. So we were kind of comfortable with that. And so the next morning, again, we got our knapsacks, we got to the car. Once again, it was packed. There was no room for us. We were very disappointed. And the driver says, just squeeze into the car, I'll get you to the highway. You guys have been hitchhiking. It's only a 4-hour drive to Detroit. So we squeezed in with our knapsacks on our laps. It was really, really awkward. And they dropped us off on the highway. So when we were on the highway, we were thinking, should we really go to Detroit? It's such a big city. We left New York City because we wanted to get away from big, nasty cities. And now we were thinking, do we really want to hitchhike into Detroit? And anyways, it's a 4-hour drive. And Prabhupada was going to be there in about 4 hours. Sometimes we would be on the highway for like an hour or two, hitching, waiting for a ride to pick us up. And so we looked at the map. And there was one attractive town above the Great Lakes. It was called Sault Ste. Marie. And we were thinking, hey, that sounds like a pretty attractive place. Sault Ste. Marie, what an interesting name. Let's go there instead. But then we were thinking, I don't know which one of us came up with this idea, but we were thinking that this is some sort of a test. How determined are we to see Srila Prabhupada? We've been reading his the Bhagavad Gita. We read a few back to Godheads. And here was a test from Krishna. How determined? We have another choice. We don't have to go to Detroit. But how determined were we? And so once we had, okay, let's go to Detroit. I think it was probably Ruchi that came up with that idea. I'm not intelligent enough to come up with something like that. Actually, I didn't even want to join. Even in the early days when we were going to 61 2nd Avenue, Ruchi came up with the idea of we should consider joining these people. And I was not a joiner at all. I was a stone-cold nonconformist, never even wanted to join any type of organization, not even the Boy Scouts. But now we had an opportunity, we had a decision to make. And we stuck out our thumbs. And the very first car that passed stopped. And we got in, and it was a 4-hour drive to Detroit. He was going into Detroit. We got there in 4 hours. then we we took a bus to the temple, and there we were met by Govardhan Prabhu. He was the vice president. And in those days, there was such a frenzy of activities before Prabhupada came to a temple. The older devotees know about these things. There was a frenzy of last-minute activities. They were painting the temple room. They were cleaning up everything, every speck of dirt and dust. But one thing that really struck us, that really helped us along in our devotional lives, was that Govardhan sat us down and talked to us and brought us some prasadam, a plate of prasadam, 2 plates actually. And so at this point, we understood the sacrifice this devotee was making, because we understood how important Srila Prabhupada's arrival was to the devotees. And we were impressed that this devotee would go out of his way, take time to stop serving Prabhupada and preparing for Prabhupada's arrival, but served us instead. So we got various forms of mercy along the way. One thing that Ruchi mentions quite often when she talks about meeting Srila Prabhupada is that everyone was out on the front lawn waiting for Prabhupada's arrival. And when he stepped out of the car and he started to walk up the walkway to the temple, all the devotees were dropping, paying dandavats, and both Ruchi and I were a little bit reluctant to go to that length to actually bow down before a human being. But Ruchi says that somebody was pushing on her shoulders. Nobody was behind her, but she felt the pushing. Somebody was pushing on her shoulders, and she forcibly dropped to the ground to pay obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. So it was really an extraordinary meeting. At that time, this is in July of 1971. And those couple of months leading up to Prabhupada's meeting were very pivotal for us. We had known each other for 3 years. Within a matter of 2 months, we started chanting japa, we got married, and we met Srila Prabhupada. So it was a pretty pivotal time for us. And so Ruchi and I moved to Madison. We were there for several years. And then there was a devotee and his wife that actually came there and opened up a center, just like about a month or 2 after we got there. And, but somehow or other, this devotee was a little antsy. And even though he was making devotees, he made about 4 or 5 devotees within the course of a couple of months, still he didn't feel that enough was going on, and he closed the temple and he left. And so this incident brought us to the fore. The temple was giving a Sunday feast every Sunday, and there were a few people that still expected to have a Sunday feast, and we were put into that position where we had a little apartment, and we started having a Sunday feast at our apartment. And also at that time, our son was born, Sanat Kumar. But the devotees were a little disappointed, because even in those days, Ruchi and I understood there needed to be a bridge between the East and the West. And we named our son, we named him from the Bible and from the Bhagavad Gita, Joshua Sanjaya. And when the devotees that were visiting us heard Joshua Sanjaya, why did you do that? They didn't understand what our intention was. And so we were having people come to our Sunday feast. And I don't know if Vidya's here, but she also came to the Sunday feast, and within several months, she drove off with Dharmatma and his crew as they came through Madison, and they were on their way to New Vrindavan. And so eventually we joined the Chicago temple, and our daughter was born there. And after several years, we were wondering, what are we doing in Chicago? That we left New York. We were hesitant to go to Detroit, and now we're living in Chicago. And another thing is that we didn't want to send our kids off someplace to some unknown Gurukula somewhere. And we wanted to move to a place where there was a Gurukula. And so we called up Vidya, and she encouraged us to come to New Vrindavan. And there was a Gurukula here. And after a year or two, Mother Katila, she saw Ruchi's nature, and she encouraged Ruchi to start an educational program for the girls. Was it just the girls in those days? So this is like in 1977 or so, 78. So Ruchi has been teaching since then, for about 47 years. And the only thing that she had, they gave her Mother Katila, there was no facility whatsoever, but they supplied Ruchi with a couple of textbooks that were like 30 years old from the Amish. And that's all she had. And then over the years, she began to acquaint herself. She took some educational courses in college, but she began, and her alliance with Lila Shuka was very crucial. And also there were many other devotees that got involved. There was Lila Shuka and herself, Ruchi and Manasa Ganga. Is Manasa Ganga here? I don't know. But there were several core devotees that maintained the school. It wasn't just Ruchi and Lila Shuka, but there was a number of other core devotees, and even Mother Rupa was involved maintaining and cleaning and also cooking for the teachers and for the kids. And Nityotita Prabhu was also involved in supporting the school in one way or another. And many of you know that I brought many college groups here. And one college group was from Hanover. The professor came for many, many years. His name was Dr. Rosenthal. We became good friends. And he insisted on, when he was here, he had to go visit the school. Because one thing he said, that if you have an alternative community, you need an alternative school. What does that look like? And he was a member of the some scholarly group called the Intentional Community Association. And we were, an intentional community. So he relished coming to visit with us every year or two, and he especially relished going to the school. So in this way, Ruchi taught with Lila Shuka, and after a while, then I don't think I want to get into too much of that, maybe the whole history of the school, but needless to say that in ISKCON, there's only a few devotees that actually had the same service at the same place for so many years. And, and one thing that Ruchi is a little shy about, being honored, because she knows that so many devotees that were dedicated, they serve Srila Prabhupada. They, in so many different ways, and so many more important ways, she felt that her own personal contribution was. And so she's a little shy about that. She's shy about being honored in front of so many other exalted devotees who she feels put in way more time and way more sacrifices than she did. So she's very humble, but she's very dedicated to her service. Leela Shuk and her, during the summertime, then, there were teacher conferences here and there around the country, professional teacher conferences. So they made a point of delving deeper into developing their educational skills. And Ruchi especially was constantly doing research. And many of the things that were incorporated into the school curriculum is from the research that Ruchi was doing as far as literature and writing. And so she felt that these are the two most important things: reading comprehension, and writing. So you're learning about how to understand somebody else's thoughts and somebody else's writing, and at the same time, you're learning how to put your expressions and your experience on paper. These two things, she felt, the reading and the writing, were critical for as a foundation for all education. So I saw all of this going on, and her dedication was far and beyond the normal things. Even on the weekend, she was always so busy preparing for the following week's classes. And so she continued like this for so many years. And I've been telling her for the last couple of years, maybe it's time to retire from the education, but she wouldn't. But now she's felt that Krishna has given her some indication that yes, she can't be attached, she has to step back, even though she is so dedicated to that service, so attached to that service. But anyways, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a little bit of our backgrounds. Maharaj.
It's true that I was the principal of the National School for maybe a few months. And I think I introduced, Mother Ruchi, of course, had taught, like all the devotees served in the old days, just completely, there was no salary, no payment. But I wanted to show my appreciation for Mother Ruchi at that time when we were trying to, make things normalize here. So I think I offered her a salary of $2 an hour, which was really a big salary. So I wanted to stabilize the school. And I had Mukta Kesh, who was actually collecting her salary. But at this time, I'd like to ask His Holiness Vaishnav Swami Maharaj to come up here on the stage and please say some loving words of appreciation for Mother Ruchi's service. His Holiness Vaishnav Maharaj Ki.
pleasure
as well as an honor to participate in this event.
and even though
Mother Ruchi, out of natural humility,
shies away from
honor, it's an obligation that we all share to both offer and receive honor.
and the reason
Philosophically stated in Deuteronomy. Now considering how, Mother Ruchi has emphasized in her teaching children learning to read and write,
it's also
other essential components in learning and teaching,
of which culture
is an essential element of learning.
and the hallmark
Culture is humility, without which learning is very likely to give rise to false pride, which is ignorance.
ignorance. As
Exemplary models of culture
Sankirtan Prabhu Mother
have been like a very stable father and mother figure for the children, for the community.
community, for all of us. And there's a verse,
In Deuteronomy,
honor
thy mother and father, so that your life will be prolonged and things will go well in the land the Lord has provided for you.
this mandate is beyond
Moral, therapeutic.
because
In honoring the sacrifice, the commitment, the preparation, the culture that others have prepared and bequeathed to us,
we become eligible
for a very essential part in the Lord's design for the world. And to put one word to that, it's stewardship.
honoring thy mother.
Mother and father doesn't necessarily mean, in all cases, obeying them. And we see in the life of children, usually in the course of their education, especially in college, they tend to become rebellious.
And the parents are so
Hurt that the sacrifice and preparation they've offered to their children is not being appreciated.
it's not necessarily
Really that bad, because in exploring different angles of vision, perspectives, thoughts, children usually come back to more solid footing with the ways of their parents and forefathers.
when Srila Prabhupada was
Here in '69, it looked like he might spend the whole summer, but after about a month, he said he had to leave now, to go to London, to launch his cultural conquest of Europe. based in London.
He said the Indians
The Indians want to open a temple. But as of now, I'm the only Indian, Srila Prabhupada said. And he laughed. I don't want to make a temple for Indians. I want a place for everyone.
And before leaving, he called a special
Meeting
beneath the famous.
persimmon tree, where he explained that
Now,
throughout this whole month here in Vrindavan, he was constantly giving lessons based on his observation of nature.
and his mandate
That in this community, we live sustained by the bounty of nature.
So he said,
Just while departing, that you have such outstanding facility here for education of children, not really academic, holistic. He said, in this community, if we have enlightened mothers and fathers, as well as sannyasis and brahmacharis, then the children will have all facility to receive the perfection of knowledge, of education, which is to become Krishna conscious. He said, if even one child becomes Krishna conscious, that is such a gift to the earth, such a delight to Krishna. And if you cooperate, Krishna will help you in achieving this goal.
and he said
Also, that it was his desire that all the children in ISKCON come to school here in Vrindavan.
departed for London. Since then, there's been many
Schools, many buildings, built, destroyed, sold. And in spite of all the changes, there's been some really stable pillars of commitment, of which
Mother Ruchi,
Shuka are outstanding.
so beyond the
Moral obligation in expressing and receiving honor, there is a very tangible therapeutic component. Because it's pleasing to Krishna. And that's what the verse says. That will ensure that your days be long and fruitful, and things go well for you. Because in giving and receiving honor for what we've received,
and the obligation
we have to serve as stewards of the beauty and nature and harmony of creation. Honoring means stewardship, which is not simply that you receive and express appreciation, though that is most essential, but also you protect and enhance what you've been given.
to hand it down.
To future generations. So the sacrifices and gifts prepared for us by others will be shared with prosperity.
Aside from
Mother Ruchi's
fine example
of dedication to the school,
the exemplary
relationship, marital relationship
Sankirtan Prabhu and Mother Ruchi offers such
example of stability and hope for children in this movement, and we are all very grateful for your example and commitment.
Thank you very much.
The effect Mother Ruchi has had on parents and teachers, parents and children. I wanted to share a couple of small notes that I was given from devotees who now, there are children here, but now they have their own children, and parents who are now grandparents. So I'll do that, but while I'm doing that, I'd like to invite Hare Krishna to be the next speaker after I read this short note here. Dear Mother Ruchi, this is from Mother Yogini. She was planning on coming, but she couldn't make it at the last minute. Dear Mother Ruchi, I will always remember you with admiration for your outstanding service to all the children in New Vrindavan schools. When I sent my children to the schools you were teaching at, I was completely tranquil to know that my children were under your care, while I performed my service of Shri Shri Radha Chandra. My heart is filled with gratitude for your magnificent service to Srila Prabhupada, the children, and the New Vrindavan community. Wishing you all the blessings from Guru and Krishna. Best of your love, your servant, Mother Yogini. And Mother Yogini's daughter, Malini, remember? We all remember Malini. She writes this, Dear Mother Ruchi, you are a bright light in this world. You've touched generations with your grace, your patience, and your unwavering dedication to nurturing and loving every child who walked through your classroom. When I look back at my elementary school years, I do so with sweetness and warmth, thanks entirely to your steady guidance and loving presence. You are a once-in-a-lifetime kind of teacher. Everyone who has had the gift of calling you teacher has been truly blessed. To this day, your spirit lives on in my home. A framed dried flower arrangement and the clay artwork you created hang on our walls, reminders of beauty, care, and the magic of your touch. I hope your retirement brings you time to create, to rest, and to do all the things that bring you joy. Thank you for everything you gave to New Vrindavan and to all of us. We love you so much and are endlessly grateful. With love, Malini. Hare Krishna. Very beautiful offering. And then there's one short note from a devotee who's still living here who remembers your special touch in the classroom. This is from Giri. Dear Mother Ruchi, thank you for all the time and effort you have put into educating the children of New Vrindavan. Seeing you in the classroom every day was a bright spot in our day. Thank you for letting me bring my toolbox to fix the desks. You are a great teacher, and all your students know it. Thank you very much. Haribol. Very sweet. Hare Krishna Prabhu? Huh? You want to say something? You have some more?
Dear Mother Ruchi, dear devotees, it's such a special day for New Vrindavan, a special day for Srila Prabhupada's movement tonight. As we heard from Sankirtan Prabhu, you have been teaching 47 years in New Vrindavan. So you educated generations. You educated so many devotees shared the culture, as Vashana Maharaj said, and shared your actually values. And we are so grateful for that. We cannot thank you very much for what you have done for this community. We heard from Sankirtan Prabhu that actually Kutila, the wife of then President Kulatri Prabhu, has seen your loving nature, your steadiness, and your love for the children. And she engaged you in the service, and you stood up to the expectations, far more than the expectations everybody had. And we can see just by these statements Nitya Prabhu was reading, how deeply connected your previous students are to you, and we see it in our children today. What is very special that, of course, our Gopal's Garden School was not always Gopal's Garden. It was the Gurukul, and it was at another place down there at the bridge, And it was a lot of more walking part of your service to go there. And what we all experienced that even after so many years, Sunday morning, normally your car is in front of the school. You are preparing. You are so dedicated that everybody else would know I have done this for so many years, but you are preparing again for the upcoming week. And especially you make all these wonderful booklets at the end of the school year for all your children, which they can take home and see what they have achieved and see in different aspects of the education what you have done. In our Bhakti tradition, we speak about sadhana, our spiritual steady practice. And you have done another sadhana, the sadhana of appearing every day, the sadhana of being steady, the sadhana of being so responsible, the sadhana of loving so much the children. And we can only be grateful for that. So at the end of your direct service to the community, we are so grateful to be here at this event and celebrate a little bit what you have done. And you does not leave a service, you are leaving a legacy. A legacy which, of course, is very difficult for others to step into the shoes you have actually prepared for our community. But we are sure if they remind the teachers, remind themselves in the community what you have prepared, the role model you have given to us, our children will be also very happily educated in the future. So I was happy to have your association for many years, and on the Ridge we are more or less neighbors, and on the sweet note you have the same birthday as Anuradha, so we normally have some loving exchanges on your birthday. We are happy to continue that in the future, and I hope, and I'm sure you have plans to use your time now in another way. Take more time for association with other devotees, because what we have seen, you always sacrificed everything for your education, for your role at the school. And now you have the freedom to do many other things. So we wish you a long life, health, and to be part of our community for many, many years to come. So we can all remember you. Thank you so much. Madaruchi ki jai. And also, thanks to Sankirtan Prabhu, her lifelong supporter for so many years. Normally we say a good wife is the strong part behind the man, and in this case it's the opposite. Sankirtan, we could see, cooking for her, driving down there at the school, whatever. So also Sankirtan, thank you so much. Madaruchi, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Baba, would you like to come up and say your offering? And after Krishna Baba, Ranika, I'd like to ask you to come up right after. Krishna Baba is also a teacher at the school. I'm not sure what she teaches. I've never been her student, but I think it's art.
When I first saw the poster, When I first saw the poster for Ruchi's party, a deep sadness over, pardon me? Oh, okay. When I saw the poster for Ruchi's party, a deep sadness overcame me. I'll miss Tuesdays with Ruchi. I've taught art in Ruchi's classroom every Tuesday for the past 18 years if I'm not traveling. It was the highlight of my week. Ruchi is not only a dear friend and a wonderful devotee who has a knack for finding and sharing amazing lectures, quotes, and kirtans, but she is a dedicated, qualified teacher. She always acquired positive educational material to enrich the children's learning. 18 years ago, Ruchi invited me to teach and handed me a book called Drawing with Children by Mona Brooks. It is a wonderful resource book that teaches children to draw and at the same time develop confidence in themselves. After I finished the lessons in that book and started creating my own lessons, she helped me simplify my lessons and present them in a more systematic, organized way. She always valued and supported the importance of art in the school. When I was teaching art, if there was a disturbance, Ruchi was very kind, loving, and encouraging, but at the same time, maintained the discipline. I felt her exceptionally organized and clean classroom made it easier for the children to focus. But Ruchi didn't stop there. She spent a lot of time and energy requiring funds to repaint the classrooms and hallways, and had Nikunja paint a beautiful mural of Krishna and the Cowherd Boys to remind the children of Krishna. She also upgraded the playground as much as she could. Most teachers receive new students every year and repeat much of the same curriculum year after year. For quite some time, Ruchi has taught many of the same students year after year, and most of them are on different levels, and that is quite a skill and a real lot of work. On Burijan Prabhu's blog, he quotes Srila Prabhupada saying, "Example is better than precept when dealing with children." And Ruchi has always said, an exceptional example in her devotion and character for the children to follow. Thank you, Ruchi.
Thank you so much. Monica is coming next. In the meantime, I wanted to read a couple of letters from some former students that are the children of Rupanuga Prabhu. Mother Ruchi, this is from Radhika. She's now a mother. Mother Ruchi, you brought so much patience, care, and dedication and love to your teaching. I still remember some of the lessons you taught me in counting and learning how to read. I remember how you would encourage us to read, how you would patiently listen as we would sound out each word. They say having one encouraging teacher can change the course of your learning and even your life. I truly believe you are that kind of teacher, not only for me, but for my peers that came before me and after. Thank you for your tireless work and for teaching from the heart. Wishing you all the joy and rest you so deeply deserve in this next chapter. Sending lots of love, Radhika. Radhika has helped the school so much, so his support has been unwavering.
Krishna Richard. I just want to start by saying it's been a blessing to have your association over the decades, but especially the last 18 years. It was during this time that I was given the opportunity to assist you in managing Gopal's garden and received firsthand realization of your dedication and sincere service to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra, and the children of Vrindavan. Of course, most of these children are now adults who have benefited from your patience and guidance on many levels, many of which they may not even fully realize. So thank you for a life well lived and touching the lives of those around you in such a positive way. I'm certain Srila Prabhupada and Radha Vrindavan Chandra are most pleased with you. Wishing you all the best going forward.
Thank you, Veronica Prabhu. We have another letter here from Rupi, Rupa Vilas. We know him as Rupi. I don't want to say Rupa Vilas. I don't know who that is. Okay, dear Mother Ruchi, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I recently heard that you're preparing to give your final teaching offering at New Vrindavan, and I wanted to send a few words from my heart. I remember your presence during those early years at the youth school with deep appreciation. We held space. You held space for us with devotion, care, and steadiness. You weren't just teaching lessons, but you were building a foundation of Krishna consciousness for the next generation of Srila Prabhupada's children. I felt included in that gift, and I still carry it with me. Your commitment to Radha Vrindavan Chandra shines through the service you offered all these years. So much of your work may have happened quietly, but the impact runs deep. So many lives were shaped by the love you brought to the classroom and by the example you set through your own devotion. As you offer your final reflections and step into this new chapter, I simply want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up with sincerity and giving your life to something eternal. It means more than words can express. With gratitude and affection, Rupa Nasta. Now, on the list of scheduled speakers, I'm either going blind or it's very dark in here, so I can't see if anybody else is here. Shamasundar Prabhu from Pittsburgh, is he here? No. Brinda, a student. Oh, you're here, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Brinda, please, yeah, I'm calling on you. Saraswati, is she here? Previous, huh? She couldn't make it, okay. So I have something from you, I think, right? Please.
I know that Mother Uchi taught me how to read and write, and Sankirtan told me how to read written word out loud, and I'm not sure I'm going to live up to that today, but I'll try. From the ages of 4 to 13, Mother Uchi was my primary teacher. Those are some of the most fundamental years in childhood development, and I feel lucky to have had her influence throughout them. It's unbelievably important for children to hear from the adults in their lives that they are valuable, skilled, and capable of improving. Thanks to Mother Uchi, I'm lucky enough to say that I received that at school as well as at home. I remember my time at Gopal's Garden fondly. Of course, the structure, modules, and homework all come to mind, but the memories that really stick out are the moments in which Mother Uchi went above and beyond. If I ever forgot my lunch, she would hand me a piece of her own without a second thought. It was usually a Lara bar. If I had to stay after school because my parents were busy, she would stay with me and sometimes even invite me to join her and Lila Shuka in their after-school Zumba. I remember the stories she would tell about her travels, how proud she was of her children and all of their accomplishments, and her commitment to documenting the milestones of her students. Over the course of my time at Gopal's Garden, there were several years where I was the only student in my grade. The time, care, and attention that I received is unbelievable in retrospect. Mother Uchi invested a huge amount of time and care into planning and delivering her curriculum, which I did when I did eventually transition to public school in the 9th grade. I had read and interacted with a much wider variety of material than my classmates. My schedule also incorporated topics that I would not have had access to otherwise, such as time outside observing nature and workshopping my poetry. I know that I have been shaped by the environment of that classroom and the support of my very first teacher. I also know that I am one of many Mother Ruchi's teaching career has overlapped and intersected with the lives of so many other young people, and I know that they all likely have a very similar story to share. So to Mother Ruchi, thank you for your work, your effort, and time. I feel lucky to call myself your student.
Sachibata, you want to read this, or? Yes, okay, please come up. Sachibata will be reading from one of the former students of Mother Ruchi, Mother Gandhari. And I think we just have, we just have a couple more people, and then there's a cultural program. The students are all patiently waiting to come on stage with great enthusiasm. And they're giggling about it too.
Dear Mother Ruchi, congratulations on 47 years serving the children of New Vrindavan and the community. I'm just introducing you. Anyway, they say pride is a sin, but you should be proud that you stuck with your service through thick and thin for the mission of Srila Prabhupada. We are eternally grateful for your dedication, determination, and association over these years. And here's a nice letter from Gandhari, Mother Ambadar's eldest daughter, that I was asked to read.
Okay, so it's too small for Mother Sachimata. Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you. This is from Gandhari. As I remember Mother Ruchi, she was my teacher from age 6 to age 12, 1980 to 86. I have great fondness for my time in Mother Ruchi and Mother Leela Sukha's classroom. Both teachers were very smart and excelled in their role. Mother Ruchi held us to a high standard. She expected us to do our best and would let us know if we hadn't reached her expectations! Exclamation point. When I had a misstep in interacting with a friend on the soccer field who had upset me by taking the ball, it was Mother Ruchi's disappointment in my actions that made me realize that I had made a big mistake and needed to apologize and make amends. Due to Mother Ruchi's and Leela Sukha's instruction and feedback, I strove to do my best and increase my skills in writing, reading, and math, as well as incorporating Krishna consciousness references in my work. As I did work hard, I was rewarded to be one of Mother Ruchi's teacher's helpers to help grade work. This made me feel very special and important. When I went to public school at age 12, I was so nervous, very nervous. As a Guru Kuli, I did not know the social norms of my middle school peers. However, the one thing that gave me confidence was that I could easily manage the classwork. My schooling at New Vrindavan prepared me to do very well academically. This gave me confidence and encouragement to keep going in school, and I was able to get all A's throughout high school and graduate 4th in my high school class at John Marshall in 1992. I then went on to get an undergraduate degree in a self-directed major in environmental studies at Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. Over the last 30 years, I have been working in the nonprofit field for social and environmental justice as a community organizer, and the last 12 as an executive director. If it weren't for the care and dedication of Mother Ruchi and Leela Sukha in my formative years, I don't know if I would have achieved what I have in my career and in my life. The impact of these two Matajis over their career has had a ripple effect across the country. with all the Guru Coolies whose lives they have touched over the years. We carry our high standards with us in life and in our own parenting and support of our children. They also help plant seeds of a love of Krishna in our hearts, which will always be there. Sending my sincere obeisances and appreciation, Gandhari Devi Dasi. What a wonderful letter. So I think I have one more letter that was just sent, like while we're talking here. Let me see if I can find it. Yes. This is from Saraswati, who I thought would be here. Okay, so dear Mother Ruchi, since learning about your retirement, I've been thinking about how much you shaped who I am. And although words are not nearly enough, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. From kindergarten through 4th grade, you made learning feel like exploration. And you were the first person who made me believe I could make a difference in the world. Between the ages of 5 and 15, I wanted to become a teacher because of you. And even though my path didn't take me fully in that direction, I still hope that in some way I'll get to teach others and pass on a little piece of what you gave me. It means more than I can say that you still remember my 2nd grade paper on factory farming. Your support and encouragement on that paper planted the seeds for something bigger. It's one of the reasons I chose my major in college and why I care so deeply about the environment today. You didn't just help me write a paper, you helped me find my voice, and that's a gift I carry with me always. Thank you for seeing me, believing in me, and helping me grow. I hope one day I can be that kind of light for someone else. With so much love and gratitude, Saraswati. So that's it on the prepared offerings, but I would like a spontaneous offering from my sidekick, if possible. Just some parents here who have sent many kids through school. Advaita Prabhu, could you please come and share from your heart some appreciation for what Mother Ruchi has meant for your family? Thank you.
Well, yes, I did have a lot of kids. That's true. I have a son, almost 50, loves Mother Ruchi. Had a lot of hard times here in Vrindavan, still loves Mother Ruchi. I have another son, 30. He made his best friend, his name is Taru. He's currently living here, but will be moving back to New York soon. His best friend is Ladini, and they became friends in Mother Ruchi's nursery school class, and they're still there. They're still best friends. They love Mother Ruchi. They had a friend's parent die. They couldn't be here tonight, but they wanted to be. I'd like to mention a few other names: Mother Megamala, Mother Kunti, Jamini, some nursery way back teachers. So Ruchi and Sankirtan, through the ups, through the downs. We'll just leave Sankirtan out of it because it's already been mentioned that Ruchi is the better half. No one will argue that, right? So what I would say is that recently I was in the temple and I was at a class and Nitya was giving the class and he asked the class members if anybody had memorized the Bhagavad Gita verse. And I was sitting there in the class and I thought, well, I do have my one token Bhagavad Gita verse that I could quote. It's my favorite, Ma Suchaha. Do not hesitate, do not worry, do not fear. Krishna is promising, Ma Suchaha. That's my token verse. I've had it for 50 years. I could pull it out if somebody were to call on me, and that was about it. I'm sitting in the back of the class and thinking, well, I got my one. The new bhaktas, I think there was only one that volunteered that had a verse, so I was feeling pretty good about myself. After a mere 50 years, I still had one.
But, you know, Nitya had asked for this, and then what happened was I left the class, and over the next week, 10 Bhagavad Gita verses came back to me. I don't remember memorizing them. I don't remember, I couldn't have told you I know other Bhagavad Gita verses. I only know the one. But 10 Bhagavad Gita verses came back to me over the next week. One of them even came back in dream. I was dreaming that I was trying to remember a verse in the dream, and in the dream I remembered the verse and knew that I was dreaming and remembered the verse. So that all went on, and I was thinking, so what we have here in New Vrindavan is we have hundreds of kids, and we can ask ourselves where they are, what they're doing, whether you make some calls, some judgments, some whatever. But what we should know is that at the core of all their hearts, they have been injected with Krishna. I have those 10 verses somewhere in there, somewhere in my being, eternally. Those verses are traveling with me, whether I know it or not. And at some point, just like they just came to me, sometime I can be confident in the range of my moment of death, somehow those verses might come back to me again. And I was thinking it was Mother Ruchi that injected Srila Prabhupada, she injected his love, she injected Krishna into all these children, and most importantly, she injected Mother Ruchi into all of those children. So we have that to be so grateful for. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Malati to give some concluding words of love and appreciation before we go into the next part of the program, which we're all waiting for, the dramatic and dancing and singing of these incredible expansions of Mother Ruchi's love, the children of Vrindavan. Would you like to say something more? You want me to bring the mic there?
Are the ones who should be speaking. And for me, just hearing all these glorifications and memories is magnificent, as is Mother Ruchi.
Haribo, Mother Ruchi. So much we owe to the dedication of these devotees and children who absorb. So, Shameshri, are you here? She's the leader of Kripa Maya. Are you here? Is it like happening? Oh, there she is. Okay. Anybody else? A last thing? Okay. Oh, okay. Please come forward. Yes, you're the only one that raised your hand.
I don't want to climb the stairs. I just thought about that. It was so nice to hear everybody tell their stories about Mother Ruchi. But I think like the most fantastic thing is that I heard this evening is you two hitchhiked. You're the most unlikely people to hitchhike. It's like I think in my lifetime I think hitchhiked one time, and by the time I was born, it wasn't even a thing anymore for people. You know, it's just like, wow, you hitchhiked. But I appreciate so much what you do. You're a fantastic teacher. We've seen students year after year come through your program and just excel in the outside world as a students, as a human beings, as people. You're incredible. We're so glad to have you. We're glad to have shared time with you. I'm honored to have my daughter being taught by you. So I appreciate you so much, and thank you. Thank you so much.
So I was told by my authorities that all children who are going to eventually come onto this stage only come up on this stairs, not on this stairs. Okay? Is that you understand? Okay, so without further ado, Shameshri or Kripa Maya, or what do I do with the mic?
So beautiful to hear all of your offerings. I'm so glad that I can at least make it for the tail end of your career, Mother Ruchi. So, Hare Krishna to everyone, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Pairing education in the arts with academia is well known to boost children's overall psychosocial development, giving them a valuable edge in society. But material education without a spiritual foundation will only get one so far. So the beauty of Gopal's garden is the well-rounded approach to education our children receive, which has been cultivated and nourished by our beloved Mother Ruchi for so many years. It's been a long-anticipated goal for Kripamoya Prabhu to bring the theatrical arts to Gopal's garden in collaboration with Mother Ruchi. For 2.5 years, we've been planning for a program that could engage the youth of New Vrindavan in creative expression, artistic technique, talent enrichment, and collaborative learning via devotional service and spiritual education. For the past 8 weeks, we have been meeting with our 3 groups once a week. In our short time together, they have been learning one of 2 tracks, either the elements of theater or dance basics. The theater track explores mental and emotional range, acting techniques, vocal opening, focus, teamwork, respect for each other, and critical thinking. Many of the integral skills necessary in the quote-unquote real world. After all, flexibility and adaptability are 2 key components of success in the various roles we play along the way. The dance track primarily engages the students in physical range of motion, collaboration, kinetic expression, concentration, and rhythmic alignment. We learn that any combination of movements, when married to music, a beat, or instrumentation, can be transformed into a dance. It can be simple, it can be complex. So we started with a few basic steps to get us started on our dance learning journey. In light of the recent Nishringadev Chaturdashi observance, each group has been working on a Nishringadev-centered offering to present today to show our gratitude for Mother Ruchi and all her glories, to celebrate the end of another successful year, and to water the transcendental relationship we have with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our ultimate protector and caretaker. Due to our good fortune, all of our music has been carefully compiled by His Grace Kripamoya Prabhu, who is hiding in the wings, and who has taken great initiative to see this program manifest and come to life. Thank you all for your support and for bringing forth such wonderful children. At this time, I'd like to welcome our first group onto the stage for a musical skit. So if you are in Hari Kirtan's class and your listening ears are on, please make your way to the stage. So I'd just like to introduce our youngest group as they're coming on. Our youngest group, belonging to Mother Hari Kirtan's class, has been spiritedly participating in the theater track by exploring ranges of body movement, creativity of voice, dance, emotional awareness and intelligence, and conscientious social conduct. This group has been thriving as the most socially inclusive and considerate of each other's needs. Some of them are bold, fun, and daring. Some of them are observant, gentle, and self-contained. Some of them are a mix. Whatever their disposition, they come together as family and friends to learn, express themselves, have fun, and even memorize lines. We are all so proud of our students. As their end-of-the-year offering to Mother Ruchi's dedication to the youth, they will be presenting for you Kripamoya Prabhu's original composition entitled The Holy Names. The Holy Names? Protect Prahlad, that's right. A Leela group casted skit where each character is portrayed by a Leela group. Okay. Can I see my Leela groups? First one here, second one, and the third one. Can I see our first positions, please? Good job. Okay, now let's get some, okay. Can we get a warm round of applause for them.
My dear Prahlad, do you want to please me? When you grow up, what do you want to be? Dear Father, I want to be a devotee of Vishnu. Dear Father. And by chanting God's name, I will always please you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Shaking with rage, King Hiranyakashipu cried, "How dare you want to serve my enemy Vishnu?" Guards, kill this boy with your sharp tridents. Surrounding Prahlad, the guards licked their lips and shouted, "Come on now, let's kill this boy. Then we'll drink his blood with joy." Vishnu Bhatti has poisoned his heart, so we must tear this boy apart. Chop him up, pierce him, chop him up, pierce him, chop him up, pierce him. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. But Prahlad was protected by Lord Krishna because he always chanted the Maha Mantra. Why can't we kill you, you rascal Prahlad? Is it 'cause you are protected by some god? Yes, I am protected by Lord Krishna. Because I always chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna. So he Hiranyakashipu threw Prahlad beneath the feet of angry elephants running up and down the street. But Prahlad was not hurt. He did not feel pain because he always chanted Krishna's holy names. Hare Krishna. Why can't I kill you, you rascal Prahlad? Is it 'cause you are protected by some god? Yes, I am protected by Lord Krishna. Because I always chant the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna. Hiranyakashipu was so mad, began to shake and put Prahlad in a pit of poisonous snakes. But Prahlad was not hurt. He did not feel pain because he always chanted Krishna's holy names. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hiranyakashipu became so angry at his son. Where do you get your power from? I get my power from the same source as you. From the Supreme Lord Krishna, known as Vishnu. Then where is your God? Tell me, Prahlad. He's everywhere, Father. Is he in this doorknob? Is he in my wine cellar? My bedroom or garage? He's everywhere, Father. Then I will kill your God. Then Hiranyakashipu struck a pillar with a sword-sharp blade, and from the pillar came Lord Nrsimhadev. Namaste, Narasingaya. Namaste. Da 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 da.
Can we give our beloved youngest group, Mother Hare Kirtan's class, another warm round of applause? Beautiful job, you guys. I'm so proud. All right. So at this time, we would like to invite our eldest theater track group. You guys can make your way backstage. And before I introduce the eldest theater track group, I would just like to invite one by one our youngest kids back up when I call your name to receive your end of the program certificate. First, Ishan Navas Ortega. Thank you so much. And next will be Lila Harkness. Congratulations. Next is Isabella Ramos. Congratulations. Next is Gokul. Good job. Next is Ramananda Abel. Good job. And then we have Banu Karti. Vishwas Chirkut. Good job. And Shraddha Chirkut. And Nanda. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so now we can introduce our eldest theater track group. While they look after their props, remember their entrances. It's not easy, actually, putting on a play. So our elders theater track group, belonging to Mother Ruchi and Donna Rajguru's class, have delved into a broad overview of theater basics. This group participated in some of the greatest challenges that come with learning an art form for the first time. That requires one to adopt a new way of being and interacting. And they have done so with an openness to learn. At their age, they are experiencing increased independence and significant psychosocial changes, lending itself to more abstract thinking, problem solving, and self-awareness. By experimenting with improvisation activities, challenging them to recreate life through movement and character development, exploring the wide range of human emotions, discovering the various roles required to maintain a theater company, and many of the elements involved in the art of acting, all while learning our spiritual history, this group of bright students is honing the academic, social, and professional readiness skills necessary for thriving in their future endeavors. As their end-of-the-year offering to celebrate Mother Ruchi's life of consistent care, they'll be presenting to you a modern-day pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev. With only a few concentrated rehearsals and a positive attitude, they have been practicing for this play that involves many scene changes, props management, line memorization, focus, teamwork, bravery, and lots of energetic investment. It has been an honor for us to learn alongside you guys. Please give your warm and inviting attention to the appearance of Lord Nrsimhadev in Mayapur. They've only been practicing for a few weeks, as they've also been learning many other theater basics. So we would like to give them a really warm round of applause, because I'm sure they're a little bit nervous. But I'm so proud of how much they have been able to cover in a short amount of time. Usually it takes many more months to put together what they have. So thank you guys so much. Without further ado.
1984 at 12:20 a.m. 35 dacoits armed with weapons and bombs attacked Sri Mayapur Chandradoya temple.
We keep getting attacked. Will we ever catch a break?
Only Nrsimhadev can save us. We should install him here.
Are you kidding? The worship of Lord Nrsimhadev is so strict and regulated. Only a Nashtika brahmachari can be pujari.
His fingers should be curled. His legs should be bent. His head should be looking everywhere. Flame should be coming from his skull. Draw some sketches for us.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Stapati. I have come from Sri Iskan Mayapur Mandir. Would you like to carve a deity for us?
Yes, of course I will carve a deity for you.
Wonderful. Here's the sketch of the deity we would like carved.
No. I could never carve an Ugra Nrsimha deity.
No, please. No one else will carve the deity for us. The devotees are in anxiety.
Please sit down. I'll draw you a sketch of the deity. Here is his flame-like mane, his knees bent in posture, ready to jump out of the pillar.
Exactly. That's the form of the Lord we're looking for.
So you go and you take this sketch to a different carver.
Everyone wanted the same Stapati to carve the deity. Again, Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent back to South India to try and convince him.
Danvat pranams, Guruji.
Don't do it.
But they are very insistent.
Uber category. Very ferocious.
They keep coming back.
Such deities were carved over 3,000 years ago by very elevated Stavatis. And if the standard of worship declines, the place could turn into a ghost town. Is that what they want for their project?
Apparently they're having some problem with the dacoits.
The one they want is Stana Nishinga, jumping out of the pillar. No, do not carve this deity. It will not be auspicious for you. I will talk with you about this later. O most merciful Lord Nrsimhadev, all the devotees back in Mayapur are eagerly waiting for your arrival. If it is your desire to be served by us, then please enter the mind of the Tripati and convince him to agree to our request. Hare Krishna.
Yes, I'll carve your Nrsimhadev for you.
Really? But I thought...
A few nights ago I had a dream. My guru came in my dream and said, for then you can carve Stana Nrsimha.
Is that all?
The next day I received a letter from Kanchipura with my guru's blessings. I will carve your deity for you.
Oh wow. I have no words. Please accept this advance payment. When can I come in?
6 months. He'll be ready in 6 months.
6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to South India. 6 months passed peacefully by without. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent again to except remove the excess stone from the slab to make it rectangular.
Oh my good lord, only a sketch? Then my poor manager is becoming impatient. How will he be ready in 6 months?
1 year later, amidst the heavy rains of the monsoon season, the company finally completed his work.
Stop it, stop it! Your roof is on fire! Your roof is on fire! There's heavy rains and everything. Go finish your roof is on fire!
3 hours, the guys shouldered the baby safely from the shed onto the trail.
Sign paper from the Central Sales Tax Department. Where's the deed? Yes, you can go. You can go. Sign paper from the Town United Art Imperium Directory. Where's the deed? Yeah, you can go right ahead.
Okay, my girls can make their way onto the stage. At this time, I would like to proudly introduce our dance track group belonging to Mother Tulsi Manjari's class. They have been enthusiastically and with staunch determination learning different styles of dance basics, from Bharatanatyam to ballet to contemporary and folk. Dance is a multidisciplinary art form involving the student to practice control over one's body from various angles, directions, positions, weight shifts, and body mechanics. Not only have they been garnering control over their bodies, but also challenging themselves to synchronize their movements and formation changes. Each of these dancers are leaders in their own right and push each other to shine. I have been thoroughly moved by their enthusiasm to learn and collaborate to complete this piece up until the very last day. Their sweetness is overwhelming and has made this class endearing to be a part of. Thank you, girls, for being courageous and pushing yourselves to make this beautiful offering in honor of Mother Lucia's love over you. Today, they will be presenting for you a dance offering to Kukumoya, which was originally composed song, Selected Prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev.
Om Namo Bhagavate Namassivaya. Namaste, namaste, Ave Ave Bhava. Vrajamagavadidam Shakamoshaya. Vrandhaya Vrandhaya Tumogarasa Grasa Om Swaha. Abhayam Abhayam Mani the half lion and half man, protect you wherever you go with his lotus hands. May he Your lungs and chest, going to no auspicious place, to the north, south, east, and west. May Yeshua protect your legs as you pray on your knees in the darkness of the night. Before there's no sea, all glories to Nashingade. All glories to Nashingade. May the sugar protect your feet with every step you take. May the sugar protect you when you're sleeping and when you're awake. May the sugar protect you from the clutches of fire. And may you always take shelter of the holy names of Lashringa. Jai Lashringa. Jai Lashringa. Hey, Lord Shimade, with his long, sharp teeth and his long, sharp nails, the God of the flames, destroy your obstacles, kick out your fear, scatter